Okay, as usual, we're looking at Visual Studio Code for Clojure. We're editing with the Calva extension. Today, it's part 3, so there are 2 previous videos like this. We're going to be looking at Quil drawing. Here's Quil drawing. Today, you'll be able to spin your circle right around. We're interested in looking at a Lisp Clojure. We want symbolic programming. So let's just get started. I'm going to be doing OneNote tricks for screencast videos. This is OneNote, as you see, and I started out with just a standard agenda. In fact, I was going to be doing a text adventure. I have a text adventure working, the Karsten text adventure from ClojureBridge, but I got Quil working really well, and so that I started typing an agenda as much for a vocabulary. We're going to talk a little bit about NightCode and Zach Oakes. And so let's just keep going. New paragraph. Zachary Oakes. As we evolve, we're going to be highlighting people. Zachary Oakes wrote NightCode and Nightlight. Just fantastic. These are very, very interesting. This is, of course, his Google page. Here he's looking particularly evil. Here he's looking particularly handsome. Eric Normand, another great teacher that we'll be highlighting shortly, has interviewed him. So let's just click through these. Now, you'll be able to see timestamps. I'm going to stop doing the black parts of the video, at least that troubled people. Although I can insert black if I want to. We'll be highlighting people, of course, like I just did, but also highlighting our sources. Every time you see something, I'm trying to make sure that you can do this yourself. ClojureBridge. If you look up ClojureBridge, you'll find this wonderful group of people. Free, beginner-friendly workshops. Nice programming workshops. Let's boldface that and add a color to it. Okay, you have to go to Charlottesville, or not. It'd be fun to. Maybe to Bangalore, or Sao Paulo. We're going to just review this quickly for the prerequisites. That's what they did. I got going because ClojureBridge helped me. All right, here's ClojureBridge, Minnesota. I'm doing this mostly, again, for vocabulary as well as anything, and elements of installing the prerequisites. This is a Clojure script. I am interested in chatter. I'm interested in Eliza chatbots, and I thought that's what this was. For this Quil example, you'll need Java and Leiningen and Git installed. So find the ClojureBridge Friday Night Install Fest and install some software on your machine right now. Of course, you do nothing. You just watch me dance through this. People are the important thing. ClojureBridge, of course, is full of people. And here we have beginner, free, Clojure workshops. Look at that crew. Wouldn't they be fun to be with? Now, I was going to talk about Nightlight and installation problems. Here's purely functional TV and Eric's course, but we're skipping over that right now. So that's fine. I became interested in a snake game, partly because I found this amazing public discussion of Clojure code. Just amazing. It's not Quil, but it's just amazing. I don't know whether we'll be able to show you.
The snake game, if you're not familiar, is a game where you control a snake and you go around and you eat these red apples, and each time you eat an apple, the snake grows longer, and the goal is basically to just make your snake as long as possible without either running into the edges of the screen or running into the body of the snake itself.
Okay, so he talks about code. I want you to learn this language, at least I want you to experience this advanced, detailed discussion. One of the things you can do is look at the word polyglot. I'm going to actually type that. A polyglot is someone who speaks multiple languages. And they have tricks for learning. They have hints. They have ways of doing this that you might want to do yourself. It's probable that you'll learn several programming languages, and possible you'll learn another language. It's worth becoming a polyglot if we want to communicate well with each other. There is a 2D snake game for Quil. And so that I'll just go through this really quickly. He gives you hints. He gives you suggestions for the game loop, for spawning the apples, defining them, for writing the snake and moving the snake around. He'll get you the code if you join his premium services. He's a good teacher, it seems. I haven't talked with him yet. This is Noobtut. Okay. So he says he's got the snake game in Clojure in 43 lines of code. Sounds good to me. Okay. When you are making your notes, go ahead and underline, color them. Pretend that you're writing or making videos for others. Now, in the spirit of big, hard tasks, I want you to go through this advanced, detailed stuff. You won't understand it. It's too hard. It's like watching Friends, your TV show Friends, in another language. That's how some polyglots work. If you've had experience with Clojure, you'll see how this man talks in advanced vocabulary about the program. Well, here's another guy talking in advanced programming vocabulary. Probably we should revisit these programs on a regular basis. This is Clojure at scale, Walmart. He mentions that at some point they have 12,000 entities coming to them per second. Imagine 5,000 Walmart stores, cash registers all working, each one sending a receipt that's very precious, that you'll want to study and look at. Don't lose them. So this is not trivial language. New paragraph. Okay. Today we're going to talk about Quil. You Google Quil, of course. That's the top of it. And what you find is kind of a surprise. Does the picture say it all? What is the picture really saying? Well, it isn't clear. In any case, this site tries to be fun as well as functional. There are 47 people contributing to it, and there's 74 people watching it. It's got an active wiki, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. And there have been 1,228 commits, changes to this website. Okay, sounds good to me. What is a wiki? Well, it's a place where have you heard of Wikipedia? I'm an editor on Wikipedia. You should be too. Just sign up, give them your email, and now you can change things. Don't change them for political purposes, but do have an adventure, do some kind of programming, maybe make some code that's spinning around in circles, or doing some other things. I wonder what else you could do. But it's your stories. You can dance, you can sing. Watch that girl. She's the programming queen. Well, sounds good to me. This is a screen snip. These links are not active. This is a screen snip. They look good, but they're not active. And I'll show you how to make them active or to get active screen snips soon. So let's move on. Quil will run in 3 dimensions. I'm not going to talk to you much about 3 dimensions. Here they are, left and up and down. I wonder what this code is doing. Maybe we'll actually look at that. Okay. There's middleware, which just talks about frames. Movies are, of course, made of frames. And this new word, def sketch, is what we'll be looking at. Here's middleware example. I think this may be the one we'll be using. I wonder what the result is. We have a teaser. Okay. Good. Always good to have teasers. Okay, so Quil has a functional mode. You'll see the image of the Russian doll a lot. That's how I understand functional programming. This is attempting to make making state specific. The picture, by the way, comes from Learn You a Haskell. I'll show you that in a minute. here we're just having explanations of the drawing functions. If Learn You a Haskell is really a way to impress your friends. If you're a programmer and say that you've been studying Haskell, that's impressive. It's available to buy as a book. You can click, but you can also read it for free online. Learn You a Haskell for great good. That's kind of how you think if you're a functional programmer. Sounds weird, but let's see. Okay, here's the wiki sidebar, and you can just screen up. This is how you scan for actual links. You can use the new snipping tool. The Windows symbol Shift S will snip pictures, and so if I do that, you can see I'm snipping now this, and this would not be active. This is just a picture of my screen. Okay, we want you programming and maybe learning you a Haskell. Okay, we're finally there. I would normally definitely go to blank screen here. This is the program. This is the code. This is how you do it. One single line of code. By typing Leiningen new, I've been always typing just the new directory so that I give myself a new place for my new project. When you add Quil to it, it gives you a Leiningen template for Quil and a fresh new Quil project. Wow. All right. The single project directories, I just made an old one for September 11th. It has the project, CLJ, and then the source file. That's what Leiningen projects look like. You can use Notepad to edit them. Here's what project looks like, and a dependency. Let's go ahead and make that blue. Can I make it blue, boo-boo? Hope so. No, that's the font blue. I don't want the font blue. I want the font black, but I want the background blue. Okay, the dependency needs Clojure and it needs Quil. This is the project dependency for your program. And here's the core program. I actually went in, I changed the directory to source, I changed the directory to September 11th, and then I did the Notepad command for core CLJ, and you get to see, finally, the code. Here's the code that comes when you type that Leiningen command. It has a setup. We update the state. Here's our drawing of the individual frames, I believe, and then here's dev sketch. Size at 500, that's a reasonable size. We run a setup, update the state, and then keep it on top. Maybe that's why this thing keeps showing up here on top of all my screens. Okay, so let's go ahead and look. I did do some other examples. Here's a couple. Here's one showing up on my screen. So in this example, obviously, you're just messing with the math, and if you like math, that's fine. Here, we're messing with the mouse. It looks like if the mouse is stopped, the circle grows, and if they move the mouse, the circle collapses. How would you do that? Good question. Okay, let's move on. Okay, we'll move this screen capture screen. Okay, I told you that I was going to show you. Let's see if we can do that now. Here's the Windows system, and you're seeing some of the stuff from my code. CD, change the directory, C colon backslash, goes to the root directory. I'm going to move into my RGH01. I'm going to change just into RGH01. That's my project directory. And we'll create a program now with this magic command, Lein, new, Quil, September 12th. That's all you need. Okay, it's thinking away for a second. It created a fresh line new Quil project. If I look at a dir, we can see that here's September 12th. And there's our project. Let's go ahead and change the directory to September 12th. September. And now look at our directory. We have our project and we have our source. The project file I can now edit. Remember, I told you that we can use Notepad to edit, to look at the project.clj. And there it is. As of today, it's Clojure 1.10.1 and Quil 3.1.0. 0. Okay, if I want to look at the actual program right now, we can do that. Change the directory to the source. Look at what's inside there. Just a September 12th project. Change the directory to that project and look inside there, and we see core CLJ Notepad, core CLJ, and there's our code. We're requiring core and make that an abbreviation of Q. We're requiring the middleware and make that an abbreviation of M. Here's setup, where we do a 30 frame per second rate. We do HSB instead of RGB. The setup function contains color and position. It starts with color 0 and position 0. We update the state by updating the color. Remember, our circle was changing states, and we change the angle a little bit as well. So I guess that's going to cause it to go in a circle. Here's the draw state function, and we'll clear the sketch by filling with light gray, set it for color, calculate the x and y coordinates of a circle. So here's the width, and then draw that. So we're drawing an ellipse. Okay? And so I wonder what this is really going to draw. It says you spin my circle around. Is that which of those 3 diagrams I just showed you will this do? We have a size of an editing canvas. We're activating setup, updating, and keep it on top. Okay, middleware again is in functional, or it's fun mode. All right, good. Now the famous thing we can do. All right, I'd usually go cd back, cd ... back puts us back to the root directory. And in this root directory, I say code. I'm not sure whether I have to or not. I'm still a beginner. But we activated Visual Studio Code. There it is. There's all of that starting stuff. Here's our September 12th directory with the source that includes core. So we have our 2 projects. And we have a Calva base. All right, so why are you not moving around for me? We have Calva down here. Since I did a Leiningen project, I should be able to jack in with Ctrl-Alt-C and Ctrl-Alt-J, and I'm going to do that. Ctrl-Alt-C, Ctrl-Alt, and hit J. It says, what kind of a project? It's just a Leiningen project, and there we go. Here's our Calva REPL. It's trying to jack in. If you look down at the bottom down here, it was trying to connect, and it made it. We now have a REPL. I'm getting rid of the welcome screen. The first thing I do whenever we see a user REPL window is I just type 1, and in this case we have to do Ctrl-Alt, and we get a 1 back. The REPL is alive and active. If you type a 1 and just press enter, nothing happens. You have to do a Ctrl-Alt, and even then we're still having trouble with it. Okay, so I always like to test that my REPL is active. Here was our programming code. I'm going to see if I can split this. Well, we'll dance back and forth. Here was our 10.1 and 3.1. That looks fine, but it certainly is in much better color now. And here's our core program. Here's our frame rates, and we're setting the state, drawing the state. And you'll notice this little hidden thing up here. I can move up and down looking at my code. Here's def sketch. Okay. How do we make it work? How can we get our little spinning circle? Can we get one? Well, what you do is, this is the core. You select all of it. Control+A selects everything. And now you hit Alt-Enter. Remember, we used that Alt-Enter, and guess what we got? So you're spinning my circle around. We've got an nREPL started on a certain port. I hope that what I've shown you isn't good enough for a hacker to destroy my machine. I'd be awful if they did. I'm showing you the 2 bottom phases. This is descriptions of Visual Studio Code, including the settings, so you can manage your program. We get this thing off of our window. So if you look at settings, here's a bunch of different settings you can do. One of the settings I frequently use is the preferences setting for color. because if I'm printing this, then I put it white so that I can print it out with decent color. If you print out a white program, a program that's been done with preferences in black, then you get a lot of white code. And white code isn't going to show up very well in Word or wherever you're printing from. It turns out you don't need to go to Word. I used to. You can just click the print button and it will give you a colored printout of what you're looking at. We'll go ahead and print that now.